In the heart of a sun-dappled forest, nestled high in an ancient oak, lived two young birds, siblings by birth and vastly different in spirit. Puku and Pyuki. Their nest was soft with moss and woven twigs, a perfect cradle, and their world, for many weeks, had been confined to its cozy rim. Pyuki, with bright, inquisitive eyes and feathers already shimmering with iridescent hues, was a creature of boundless curiosity. From the moment her tiny pin feathers sprouted, she'd crane her neck over the edge, watching the busy world below. She saw the squirrels leap fearlessly between branches, the river glinting like a silver ribbon, and her parents soaring effortlessly, tiny specks against the vast blue canvas. Pyuki chirped with longing. She dreamed of flight. Puku, on the other hand, was content. The nest was warm, safe, and familiar. The wind could be harsh outside. The world seemed enormous and full of unknown dangers. He'd huddle deeper into the soft lining whenever a strong gust swayed their branch, preferring the comforting rhythm of his mother's wing to the dizzying expanse beyond. His eyes held a quiet fear of the unknown. He didn't dream of flight. He dreamed of staying. Their parents, wise old birds who had seen many seasons, knew the time was near. One morning, after the dew had kissed the leaves, their father perched on the edge of the nest, his gaze firm but kind. "Children," he chirped, "the sky awaits. It is time to fly." Pyuki, without a moment's hesitation, ruffled her feathers, took a deep breath, and launched herself into the air. Her first attempt was clumsy. She flapped wildly, tumbled, and caught herself on a lower branch with an awkward squeak. But before her parents could even fret, she shook it off, chirped a determined note, and tried again, and again. Each attempt was a little stronger, a little more graceful. Soon, with a joyous burst of energy, she was soaring, not perfectly, but steadily, dipping and rising, chasing a butterfly through the sunbeams. Her laughter-like chirps echoed through the trees. Puku watched from the nest, a knot of fear tightening in his small chest. He saw Pyuki's stumbles, the moments she almost fell, and it only confirmed his deepest anxieties. "It's too dangerous," he whispered, shrinking back. "I'll fall. I'll get lost. I'm not ready." His mother gently nudged him. "You are ready, my son. Your wings are strong. It is your mind that holds you captive." Days turned into a week. Pyuki would return to the nest, bursting with stories of sweet berries discovered, of wind currents ridden, of new friends made. She'd try to coax Puku out, describing the exhilarating rush of air beneath her wings, the beauty of the forest from above. But Puku remained rooted, his fear growing with every passing day, feeding on his imagination of all that could go wrong. He was becoming lonely, watching his sister live a life he was too afraid to even attempt. He was also getting very hungry. His parents, though loving, were now mostly bringing food to Pyuki, out in the open, subtly encouraging Puku to join them. Finally, hunger, and a gnawing envy of Pyuki's joy, became stronger than his fear. He looked at Pyuki, perched proudly on a nearby branch, her feathers gleaming, her eyes sparkling with life. He looked at the vast, terrifying, yet increasingly alluring world beyond. He remembered his sister's first clumsy flight, her resilience, her unwavering spirit. Taking a shuddering breath, Puku squeezed his eyes shut. "I can do this," he whispered, a tremor in his voice. "I have to." He took a hop, a small, tentative hop, and fell, not gracefully like Pyuki, but with a panicked squawk, landing unceremoniously on the branch just below. He lay there, stunned and bruised, ready to give up. But then, Pyuki was beside him, not scolding, but gently nudging him. "Get up, Puku. You made it out. Now flap. Remember what father taught us." Quote. Puku looked at his sister, then at the sky. He remembered the feeling of helplessness, the confinement of the nest. He remembered the vivid stories of berries and freedom. He stood, wobbled, and with every ounce of courage he possessed, he leaped again. His wings were awkward, his flight path erratic, but he was flying. He fell many more times that day, bumping into leaves, nearly clipping branches, but each time, Pyuki and his parents cheered him on, and he found the strength to try again. The fear never entirely vanished, but it was slowly, steadily, replaced by a growing sense of exhilaration, of accomplishment. By sunset, Puku, though tired and a little sore, had flown. He landed on a branch beside Pyuki, his chest puffed out, his eyes wide with wonder. He had tasted the wind, seen the world from a new perspective. and found the courage he never knew he possessed. From that day forward, Puku and Pyuki explored the forest together. Puku still approached new things with a touch more caution. But his fear no longer paralyzed him. He learned that the world was indeed full of challenges, but also full of unimaginable beauty, sweet berries, and the incredible freedom of flight. The lesson life taught Puku and Pyuki. Life, like the ancient oak tree, offers comfort and safety, but true growth and discovery often lie just beyond the familiar rim of our nest. We all have a Pyuki within us, the path that longs for adventure, that embraces challenges, and learns through joyful, persistent trial and error. And we all have a Puku, the path that fears the unknown, that clings to comfort, and sees the potential for failure more clearly than the promise of success. The real lesson is this: fear is a natural part of growth, but it should never be the pilot of our lives. Sometimes, the world, or even the gentle nudge of those who love us, will force us out of our comfort zone. And sometimes, the greatest leaps of faith come not from a sudden burst of bravery, but from the quiet, persistent voice within us that says, I am hungry for something more. I am ready. I have to try. Every stumble, every fall, is not a failure, but a forgotten lesson in resilience. A building block for the strength you didn't know you had. The greatest adventures and the sweetest rewards await those who are willing to spread their wings, even if they tremble, and take that first, terrifying, glorious leap. The sky, after all, does await.